going to be assembling a short wall section for our modular fort. Go ahead and get her out of the bag, and then we'll start by taking a blunt instrument and pushing out all of our pieces that have not fallen out from the laser cut. Everything's cut through completely. You should just need to press it out. It's better to use something blunt than sharp. And organize as we go. Be a little careful in the ladders. They can be a little fragile because of all the detail line cuts. And clear your stuff off, and we'll go ahead and start on the back support. The top of the back support has tabs to fit into the floor, so that's how you'll know what the top is. And the interior supports will also have tabs on the top, so that is the way that they'll want to be glued in. And we'll press them in. By pressing in, you'll get a nice tight fit by pressing down against the floor. So now we will grab the front wall section. Again, we'll make all our tabs on the tops go the same way. Go ahead and put the glue on these edges here, and then we'll be pressing the whole assembly down against the front wall section. And don't get confused, there are slots that are for other parts there, so they'll only line up one way with all the slots. Start at one end and work your way across. And then just double check that everything is nice and tight, as the floor section that we'll be putting on top of this will need it to be so it will fit. Now we're going to grab the palisade floor and put it face down, and keep in mind where your parts are actually going to be touching. Don't be putting glue on top of the tabs, as there's nothing there for them to touch, so put it into the troughs in between the tabs. And start at one corner or one edge and work your way across the kit. There is plenty of flex in the parts to move it around a little bit if need be to get it to line up. Once you feel like you've got it nice and firm, flip it over and check that your tabs are sticking all the way through. Next, we're going to move on to the floor supports. There's a wide tab and a narrow tab. The wide tab will go into the wall, and there are 3 of these supports on this short wall section. Next, we will do the palisade wall. And again, keep in mind where the kit will actually touch each part. So we'll be putting a little glue along the edge and then vertically where it hits the supports for the floor. And start at one end and work your way across. And you should be able to tell whether you are fully inserted by looking through into the slots. Again, just wiggle a little bit if you need to get it to sit firmly in place. Now we have a trim piece to cover up the tab slots that we just filled up, and you're going to want to cover those up. If you're using the one without wood grain, you'll cover the slots entirely and put it where you want. If you're using with the wood grain, just put it where there is no wood grain laser engraved. And now we have our trim pieces for the front. They will swallow around and slide up underneath the floor supports. It's always a good idea to double check that these are sitting flush with the bottom by putting the piece up on its end against the bottom there, the way it'll sit naturally on the table. If you do end up with a piece sticking out, or you end up with a little bit of a rock, just take some sandpaper and sand down the high point. The ladders have 2 different sides to them. One has got longer edges sticking off the bottom, so we'll put those towards the bottom of the access ladder. And we'll go ahead and do the same on the other side. You can put the glue on the support wall or on the ladder itself. And that is our short wall for our modular forts.